minute, fellas. Look here. Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Joy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my super friends, Jarhigo.
Hey.
And C-Lab Forever.
What's up?
Welcome to the podcast, folks. This week we're talking about the 1984 classic comedy Police Academy, starring Steve Guttenberg, G.W. Bailey, Kim Cattrall, and a whole host of other wonderful people. Let's start the show.
Benny, you proposed this one just randomly. I'm curious how you feel about how it held up for you.
Well, sadly, it's not as funny as I remember it being. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. Yeah, I can't say that I laughed very much.
Yeah.
No.
I'm on that sad motorcycle with you, my friend.
All three of us are on that sad motorcycle.
I'm not sure if it was only funny when I was younger. I'm not sure if I've just seen it too many times. I'm not sure about that.
My personal feeling is B. I've seen it too many times.
Yeah, I think I'm more on the younger thing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a factor for sure. But I remembered everything when I saw it. But I just think that I had thought about while I was watching it, rather, how many times I'd seen it. I mean, I've seen this movie gotta be 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just no chance. It has no chance of making me laugh.
I seem to remember a heavy HBO rotation back in the day.
Yeah, no doubt.
Totally.
If it wasn't Beastmaster, it was one of these movies.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I definitely had a soft spot for the Police Academy series, and then you mentioned it. It was like, yeah, totally, let's do it. And then, as you also mentioned via some of our conversations about sci-fi, you don't like revisiting stuff sometimes because it kind of takes the shine off of the memory of it, and I feel like that ended up happening here a bit.
Yeah, no doubt.
I remembered the Citizens on Patrol movie being the one that I probably saw the most amount of times. And was like, maybe it's just that the first one was getting the story going or something. But then I watched Citizens on Patrol today, and it was worse than this one. So I think it was just one of those things,
Yumma, 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 yumma.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember that?
Uh-huh.
I think that was from 4. The whole thing about taking the shine off the memory, that definitely happened here. It's like the dream is over now.
We're shutting it down.
The dream is officially over. We've come full circle. We watched it in our 40s, and we see it for what it is.
It kind of blows me away that this movie is almost 40 years old.
That's crazy.
It doesn't feel like it, but kind of does at the same time.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say stale. I'm trying to get my sort of nostalgia out of the way. Like, it still looks good, and the jokes play. I've seen it too many times for it to be funny. I don't think that takes away from how funny this movie actually is.
Yeah, maybe.
That was just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to put all that aside and look at it somewhat objectively, I mean, it's like a goofy slapstick comedy, in the vein of Airplane almost, sort of. Somewhere between Airplane and something else.
But I feel like an Airplane or a Caddyshack holds up.
No doubt.
Maybe there wasn't enough humor in this for it to hold up. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, maybe I think part of what's going on for me is that I have all the movies sort of mashed up in my head.
Yeah.
But I remember I remember it being a little more densely packed with funny bits, and it kind of, I think I could probably count on one hand the beats in the movie that are, supposed to be really funny.
Yeah.
Or like the you know, the big ones anyways, and the little ones in between just kind of don't.
They don't really hit.
They don't really hit, but I don't know. That might just be because of my familiarity. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's hard for me to say. I don't feel like. Sorry.
No, please finish.
I don't feel like. I don't know. It's not taking the shine off it for me because there are still some like quotables. You know, the many people thing with Lassard. For some reason, I use that all the time. So it still lives on brightly in those respects, but yeah, I still don't know. I'm still not sure. Maybe we'll figure it out before the end.
One thing I was thinking about when you were saying that, Ben, was that, you know, the thing about watching this when we were younger was that, you know, you watch all the movies and your kid brain kind of skips to the funny parts, you know? So I think that like taking all the movies together, you know, it's like your brain as a kid kind of condenses all of the funny bits into one string. And then, you know, thinking about it, you know, you're thinking about all those funny bits, but then when you actually watch it now, it's like, oh, wait, there really aren't that many funny bits. You know, they're spaced out a lot more than I remember them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there wasn't a ton to look into the history of this thing, but I did see a blurb talking about how they cut a lot of the craziness out of it. So it might have been more aligned with an airplane or a Caddyshack. And then they trimmed it back a bit to give it a little bit of, you know, I don't know if plot's the right word because there's barely a plot, but just to give it a bit of space or something. And at the time it probably played well, but 40 years later, it's just kind of like, I'd rather just like lean on my memory of it and revisit it. Like I kind of feel like I'd actively not recommend people revisit it just because it's kind of you're gonna remember it better, you know.
You're risking ruining it. Yes.
Yeah, we took one for the team by watching this, and like it's still funny and it's still good, and I still love Police Academy, but like, you know, you don't need to go back and watch it. I guess that's kind of
maybe
my high level.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be a warning that we give going forward at the end of the episode when we announce the next week's show. Watch at your own risk. Your childhood memories are in jeopardy.
Maybe destroyed.
Maybe you should just not watch it, listen to the show, and remember.
I mean, I did kind of enjoy because I didn't remember almost anything from it. Like I got Harris and Lassard mixed up. I completely forgot about the goofy Lassard character and just thought there was the, you know, dickhead Harris role and, you know, classic forgot who the love interest was and was like delighted. Well, let's go. It's Kim Cattrall. That's cool. You know, like some of the stuff that you get surprised by because your memory is so fuzzy. But
totally.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it made up for the experience.
Yeah, I think my experience watching it was I didn't remember all of the jokes, but as soon as the thing started playing, I was like, oh, right, of course. You know, like everything just came flooding back. I completely forgot, and I don't know how I forgot this, that Kim Cattrall was in it because I love Kim Cattrall. She's awesome.
Yeah, same here. No idea how I forgot that.
Yeah, man, really. I was like, wow, how did I miss that one? You know, like I remember she was in Mannequin. I'll never forget that. But yeah, the jokes, like once it started playing, I was like, oh, right, of course. But I forgot about Kim Cattrall, and I think that was it.
That's all you have to say about that yet.
that was kind of a nothing burger. Sorry.
I'm tempted to pull it ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, let's do that.
It definitely has that goofy frat, college, school, away from home, causing hijinks kind of tropes. Yes. And then you mix in the cop thing. And like it's kind of a clever idea, but kind of not, I guess.
Go ahead.
That's it. Use it.
Ben, did you have a thought on that one?
Yeah. What was the middle part?
That it was like college-ish and schoolish and hijinks-ish, and then you mix the cop stuff in. It's kind of a good idea, but kind of maybe not.
Can you give me like a another movie.
Yeah.
To compare what you're.
You kind of get like, what was the one with Belushi?
Animal House.
Animal. You kind of get the like
Yeah.
Animal Housey, Revenge of the Nerds, kind of back to school. Like,
Right.
there's the
Gotcha.
authority structure of the school environment. You know, this is a police academy, and they're all just like running around, fucking hiding girls under their beds and looking into showers and all that 80s shit.
No doubt.
So it's like totally got the 80s tropes,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
police layer is kind of interesting.
Yes, and I think that if there's one thing we can all agree that the 80s was about, these movies, it was hijinks.
And shower scenes.
I mean, let's be real. And hijinks and shower scenes, right?
Yeah.
So I feel you. I think movies like, there's so many movies like that, you know? I mean, Better Off Dead isn't exactly hijinksy. That's more of an edgier comedy, but, you know, Ski Patrol.
Ooh,
and
Ski Patrol.
Revenge of the Nerds and Stripes and, you know, Animal House, and it just goes on. Some of the B-level ones too, they were always like that. So yeah.
Ain't got no gas.
I do have a segue there when you guys are done commenting on that.
I'm done. Do you have anything there, Benny?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. You know, yes, it is like that.
You know, the one thought that I had, the one original thought that I had about this movie when I watched it the other night was that it very much felt like an answer to Stripes to me. So like and I looked up Stripes. That was 81. Great movie, classic movie. You know, bucking the authority, plenty of hijinks. You know. And then they get into an actual adventure with that sick RV, which is awesome. Yep. But and that movie still holds up. It's great, you know. But this movie very much felt to me like somebody was like, you know, we gotta make a movie like Stripes. You know, that movie was great. That movie did so well. How can we do that? You know, in another setting? And it's really very much like Stripes. You know, you've got the cut up guy. Gets tossed into the academy. It's either that or jail. You know, in Stripes, Winger was basically like, I got to join the army or I'm going to be living on the street. So, and then they get in and they buck the authority and, you know, try to get thrown out, whatever. You know, it's very, very similar. And then there's some crisis at the end and the cut up guy kind of sort of saves the day.
Very much a trope of the era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally a trope of the era, but it felt like somebody was trying to kind of recreate the magic of Stripes or the formula of Stripes, and like, how do we do that? Well, let's do it at the police academy, you know? And then, of course, the other movies just went in a completely different mental direction.
Yeah, that said, though, I watched Police Academy 4, which it blew me away that it was 4. I was like, it's probably 2 or something. I can't believe there are 7 of these fucking things. But
I know.
I was half convinced that there were like 150 of them.
Yeah, 4 was exactly the same as this movie. It was like, we're going to bring citizens in now to be cops. And it was like a bunch of fuck-ups, and Harris comes back to be a dick.
Is that the one with Bobcat Goldthwait?
They stop a riot at the end. Like, it was exactly the same. Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait was in it. Fucking, I'm totally dying here. Shiloh from the fucking vegan restaurant. David Spade had his film debut as a punk skate rat kid who's forced to join the cops in that one.
Oh my God. Wow. That is a nugget right there.
So it was exactly the same fucking movie.
It's a nugget because I don't remember it. Yeah, they were all like that, man. It was like, how do we get people into the academy for academy hijinks? And then, you know, some sort of crisis.
And then how can we get Callahan to squat on their faces at some point?
Right, exactly.
How do we get Callahan to smother someone with her boobs?
Exactly. Let me think. Strangely enough, now that we're thinking about this, I kind of cleared some of the cobwebs out. Like, the second film is really the one that kind of departs the most. So we're not at the academy at all in the second one. It's their first assignment, as the title suggests. And, you know, they partner up with veteran cops, but it takes place out in the world. I think it's not the only one that doesn't take place at the academy, but it's, you know, I think the one that kind of diverts from the Academy of formula in the first 4 movies the most. And that's also where we get the introduction of Bobcat Goldthwait, who was the gang member in that one, and then he joins the police force in the second and third one.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that I know for sure.
That fucking dude, man.
And he had his hideout was like in an old zoo. Yeah, he's interesting.
Talk about a relic of the 80s, man. Holy shit, I love that. I love and find that guy so confusing.
Well, he's actually he is a director. He did a documentary actually about Willow Creek, California, about Sasquatch, believe it or not.
No shit.
Yep. And he also...
Does he narrate it like Werner Herzog? I would love a Bobcat Goldthwait narrated doco.
He doesn't narrate it like Bobcat Goldthwait either. He doesn't.
Sasquatch.
He doesn't do all that crazy shit.
I would love that.
I think I saw him on Rogan recently, and it was just not recently. Like I don't know when I saw him fairly recently, and it was just weird seeing him not doing that.
Just
you know,
speaking like a normal human.
just talking like normal. It was weird.
Talking
it
about
is
getting
weird when
stuck
you
in a really bad shtick, you know, like it just worked in some comedy nightclubs, and then now all of a sudden you got to do it everywhere. That would be the worst.
Yeah, I think it was like a cool persona, you know.
Yeah.
But it's like you got to be careful because it's like you kind of get stuck, and then it's like, how do you back out of this corner, man? You know what I mean?
Pauly Shore.
I was just going to bring him up exactly like Pauly Shore because I listened to, I think it was a Rogan excerpt on YouTube about that exact thing, how he was talking about the whole, you know, weasel buddy, all that shit, and how like it just stopped being funny, and then his career completely tanked.
No doubt.
You know, and Bobcat, kind of to Ben's point, like I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but the movie Blow with Johnny Depp, really great movie. But Bobcat is in that movie. He plays like a party goer / friend connection of one of the guys, and he gets them a hookup for the coke, I think in California. And it took me a couple of minutes to figure it out. I was like, why is that guy so familiar, man? And then I realized that it was Bobcat, and he was, you know, just acting like a normal actor would without the crazy. But he's good.
It's been a while, but I would have definitely thought I would have recognized him. I just haven't seen that in a while. Yeah, it was almost like this genre and in general, and maybe the series specifically, like, is just kind of a setup for a lot of that kind of stuff, you know, like Michael Winslow, who I love. They obviously were just setting it up so he could do as many sound effects as possible, you know?
Of course, dude.
And like, it was fine. It was cool. I liked it. Like, it fits. It totally fits. But you ain't gonna win any fucking Oscars, you know? Like, the movie's it's definitely like a 10-year-old's fucking wet dream movie, you know?
Total wet dream for a 10-year-old. And I think, like, you know, just talking about Winslow for a second, he, you know, it worked well, and it was great, and it was funny. I mean, it was funny revisiting it this time, you know, not like I was rolling on the floor laughing, but I was just like, yeah, that's so great. I forgot about that. You know, he was always like somehow magically hooking into the PA and calling people down to various different places, you know, like as a kid, especially somebody that was like, you know, wanted to do radio. I was like, oh, that's so cool, man. Like, where do you take that shtick for 7 movies,
right?
You know, and make it good?
You're just picturing him like doing his last scene in the 7th movie and be like, all right, that's a wrap on Michael Winslow, and him being like, thank fucking God for that.
Yeah. I can get back to my chosen profession.
Right?
You know, flowers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even his. He's great, but it's not even like his best stuff in this movie.
Spaceballs.
Like, he doesn't even really have
too.
that many, you know, besides the PA intercom thing, and then like, you know, the machine gun thing and everybody getting down. Like, I don't remember there being all that much in there, right? Doing like playing a video game by himself, making mouth noises.
And then there was the harmonica in the station when Mahoney walks away. The PA bit when they were in the classroom.
Yeah, they mentioned that.
But you're right. There really isn't a ton, unless I'm just so blown out and I can't remember.
Alex, you're stinking up the kitchen with your stupid lasagna. I just want a coffee.
I had that more of like that like kind of cheesy PBS pledge drive kind of thing in my head, where it was like,
For $2.
here are some great ways to listen to this great podcast, but I'm not going to talk about that. Here's Chad.
Just like, thanks, Kevin.
No, and here to talk about that is Algorithm.
While you're off in space, traveling to the nearest ring gate, you could be donating to Everybody Dies podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And for a pledge of just $1, you'll get this wonderful nothing burger.
Yeah, anyways, we just wanted to chime in and ask that you guys, if you guys like our show, please tell some friends about it. We're trying to grow the show and make it more awesome for you guys, so we would love it if you could to share us with a friend or jump onto iTunes and give us a rating or something, because it helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you pledge $2 to our Patreon, you'll get a sweet all edges lasagna pan, and we'll lose like $30 on that.
We're losing $15 on it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what we should come up with as a merch item is a patch. Let's kick it 80s style, dude, right?
Oh, fuck yeah, like a space patch or something?
Yes.
Dude.
That's such a great idea.
Man, I know you're all about patches, bro. So about a patch, man.
I don't know if I'd call this a gripe, but like just before we got on the air, I was looking up the writers, and these are the same guys that wrote Real Genius, and I just kind of feel like, dude, fucking phoning it in, man. Like, you can't go from something like Real Genius to this and not just be like, not your best work, bros. Not your best work. And maybe that's part of my issue here, is that it was so tropey that,
Wow.
I don't know. I just expect better from the dudes that can put Real Genius together.
Real Genius is just, it's so good.
It's awesome, but it's bizarre that I feel like the Police Academy franchise is way more popular. Like,
Oh, no doubt.
I mean, I love Real Genius, but it's kind of culty, compared to Police Academy, which is like, I mean, they made 7 of the goddamn things, so they must have been making money.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Real Genius came out in 85, so clearly they sharpened their pencils between 81 and 85. Or, oh, no, wait. That would be a 1-year gap. So, yeah, wow. Okay. That is bizarre.
Maybe the Police Academy movies were the MCU of the 80s. It was just the most vanilla shit that everyone had to fucking go see. Like everyone and their brother took their families to see them.
Mm,
The MCU is so fucking vanilla. It's not even funny.
it is. I mean, they clearly, or quite possibly, it could have been that, like, they wrote this movie, to get in the door and make some money, and then, or they were writing it to spec, sort of, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then Real Genius, they were given, like, a little bit more room, and they wrote something smart,
I suppose I didn't think that this was before Real Genius. That makes me less salty about it then.
Yeah, but still, it's only a 1-year gap. But yeah, I don't know. I think in response to your comment about, like, how did this movie do so much better than Real Genius? And Real Genius was, worlds better. I mean, it holds up so beautifully. We all loved it when we talked about it. I think it's just that, like, the common denominator, like, just dumb stuff, like dumb jokes, like Police Academy. Just like that's what the crowd loves, man.
Sell tickets. Yeah.
It's what the crowd loves, and it's the cult that loves the real geniuses of the world, like nerds like us.
No doubt.
I gotta say, like, I didn't, I touched on this before, but I feel like the movie is, again, I'm leaning on the nostalgia thing. I think that I've just seen this movie too many times, but like watching it, like it's a well done comedy movie. You know what I mean? Like, and the actors are good, and a lot of them are just playing it straight. They're not playing it to be funny, which is a horrible trap to get into. And I think that's why it works so well, as like a goofy comedy. Like, Lieutenant Harris playing the hard ass, and, George Gaines as Lassard, like, you know, they did it right, and it came out well, you know, like just the whole like blowjob bit at the end where Mahoney gets up to the podium and, you know, there's this zip sound and then he looks over at Lassard and, you know, his look is perfect, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think you're right, man. I think it is really a product of having seen it so many times.
Yeah.
I really think so. This is kind of a tangent off that, so I don't know.
Go for it.
Yeah. What's the deal? So the Lassard podium blowjob thing, you know, Gutenberg sticks his head out of the podium afterwards. Does Lassard think that it was him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he's so excited when he sees Mahoney and Kim Cattrall making out at the end.
Ah.
Because you can't see, her hair is tied up and she's got her police, you know, hat on.
Yeah, I remember. He was like, "You men, stop that."
Exactly.
Just like, ooh, that didn't age well.
Yeah, I totally got the Mahoney's like, I'm going to poke my head out and fuck with this guy here vibe, which is pretty funny.
I think, too, like that scene with the first blowjob is, you know, it exemplifies my point about George Gaines. Like I was kind of dreading the blowjob scene, you know. I was like, all right, here we go. And the guy's going to be all like, you know, trying to play it off. But like he did it right. You know, he like all of his reactions were really good. Like I actually thought it was awesome.
Dude, it's the only scene I laughed at. It was the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching him and I was like, wow, he is really dialing this in exactly the right way, you know, to make it, you know, to play it straight and make it like legitimately funny. I thought he did a really good job with it.
And like so realistic. Like I just love
That's what I mean.
I love how it's like I totally could, I don't know, like you put yourself in his shoes, even though it's the weirdest scene ever, and you're like, I wouldn't be able to form coherent sentences either. And he's just like,
Exactly.
And this slide is a building. It's a really nice building. I like this slide. It's just super funny, man. I don't know.
And here we see another slide of the same building.
I hope you all had as much fun as I did.
Yeah. I like how at the end he slyly works in like where we can go and have something to eat and perhaps a cigarette.
Perhaps smoke a cigarette. Yeah, man.
Like
he pulled that off.
It was he did. It was the scene that I was dreading the most because it's so easy to just make that into such a turd of a scene, you know, with like ridiculous facial reactions and all of that. And he just nailed it, man. Absolutely nailed it. That was great.
I guess that actress was actually a adult film actress, which is kind of funny.
Yes.
I was just randomly checking people out on IMDb and was just like, okay, there you go.
You mean IMDb porn?
Yeah. IMDb.
IMDb, there you go. Got your IMDb and your IMDb. Oh, wait, I just got that secondary joke there.
I thought that you got it the first time you laughed.
Yeah, me too.
No, I thought it was funny as it was. You know what I mean?
Jesus Christ.
Going for the low ball here.
Hey, man. It's Police Academy. It's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting with the bar pretty low here. So
yeah, we are. That's true. Again, even though I wasn't like laughing out loud, I really enjoyed like all of those sort of, the cast of the secondary characters in the movie that I remembered from days of yore, like Leslie Barbara and his dog.
Yeah.
Fackler.
Hightower.
Totally. Hightower, Hooks, Blanks and Copeland. Those guys were funny, man. I forgot about that. They were always like running up to somebody and saluting.
I love that little haircut scene straight out of the army movies. I just blew off the sides.
You can do that?
It was just so dumb, but I liked it.
It was good. There was a lot of great like expletives that I forgot about that were used a lot in this movie. Like, firstly, dirtbag, which not exactly an expletive, but it's derogatory. And
we should bring that back.
I know we need to bring that back because Harris was using that so liberally in this, and I was like, man, I forgot how much I used to say that. Everybody was a dirtbag.
Maybe ever since Joe Dirt, we've stopped saying it. We need to bring it back again.
Yeah, maybe we do, man.
What else? What other expletives? Now you've piqued my curiosity.
I'm trying to. Now, all of a sudden, I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's pretty death worthy. Jesus.
This is a sweet segment, Kev. Nice.
Well, I was thinking about when Copeland and Blanks like run up to the chief. They were like, "Hey, there's the chief," and they run up to him and they like stand at attention and salute. And they're like, "Kyle Blanks reporting for duty, sir." And he's like, "Get out of my face, you!" I think he says ass bag. No, not ass bag. Ass wipe or something. But then I couldn't remember, and that's why I died.
One of the reasons.
One of my 4 deaths.
I completely forgot about Hightower and Leslie Barber and all of them. The only one I really remembered was the guy that I'm not remembering right now.
Gutenberg.
No, I did. I don't know if I remember Gutenberg overly, but Tackleberry. We talked about Tackleberry in the RoboCop episode, and then obviously as soon as I saw Callahan, I was like, "Oh yeah, Callahan, yep." But they all came flooding back, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's who I forgot. Tackleberry. I forgot about.
I forgot he opens the movie. The fucking
I know
surprise party. That was pretty funny.
In the like the
You
the
guys.
You guys shoots the shit out of it.
Or the scared shitless executive like trying to go home, and like Tackleberry's like such a psycho, man. The guy's like, "Can I go home now, Tackleberry?"
10-4.
Affirmative.
Tackleberry's got such a like serial killer face, man. I love it.
Oh, he did too. David Graff, so funny, man.
I would have expected a lot of these people to have, I don't know, been more successful and done more stuff, because I was just like, "Oh, I love everyone here." And when I looked in their IMDb stuff, I was just like, okay, they didn't really do a ton of stuff that I remember. So it's just kind of interesting.
No, the only person that did was G.W. Bailey, man, the guy that played Harris. He was on like 3 or 4 pretty long-running television shows throughout the 90s, the 2000s, the tweens.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good actor.
Plays the perfect asshole.
Oh, my God. He's so good as Harris, man.
Yeah, the performance is almost a little too much for the movie.
Right?
Too hardcore, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost. But he does like a great job, like George Gaines, of like playing it straight so the jokes don't end up just in the swamp.
What was the Nom movie with Gomer Pyle?
Hamburger Hill.
No.
No.
Just totally drawn a blank.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket. You kind of get like the Full Metal Jacket dude vibes. Like if you put the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket in this, like it just would have been over the top, Like it's definitely straddling that.
Yeah, and again, he's kind of like the Sergeant Hulka from Stripes, so similar to that as well.
I have not seen Stripes in a long time.
Yeah, it's so good though.
I've seen that one a lot. It's a good movie, and it's got Harold Ramis in it. Yeah, he's definitely got a little Arlie Ermy.
The question here, though, Kev, is who makes Steve Gutenberg a star?
Who makes Steve Gutenberg a star?
Mm-hmm. We do.
In what sense?
We do. Come on. What is it?
I'm dead.
Stonecutters from The Simpsons.
Thank you.
Yes. That was good. You're dead for not getting that?
Yeah.
It's all right. Old Gutenberg, dude, he definitely had a quite a string of hits there for a while.
Did you just call him Paul Gutenberg?
No, I said
Paul
old Gutenberg.
Okay.
Old Gutenberg.
I like Paul Gutenberg.
Yeah.
It's
Old
his
Pauly
cousin.
Goots.
Pauly Goots. He hangs out with Big Angie and Joey Rags. Sammy the Snake.
Yeah, he was in a movie with 2 of our favorites on this show, Cocoon with Brian Dennehy and the incomparable Wilford Brimley. Do you think Gutenberg chose the one in the oven cut off shirt and the
That was
Daisy
the
Dukes,
best.
or was that wardrobe
God,
department?
man.
Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
dude,
was
so
that?
great.
That was amazing.
What do you mean? You mean the shirt and the shorts?
The whole thing, like,
I know.
who thought that was a good idea and it was a genius idea?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was
thought it
speechless.
funny.
Like, you totally see a young woman rocking that exact same outfit these days. And I just love it.
Totally.
I love that he was rocking that.
It's almost like he should have been on the beach frolicking about with
Yes.
Apollo and
Sly
Rock.
and Grief Karga.
Oh, fuck
Yes.
yeah. No doubt about that.
You said, Chad, you said he had a string of hits around this time. I only remember Police Academy, and he wasn't in but maybe 3 of those. And then it was like 3 Men and a Baby.
It's Short
Wait, what did I
Circuit,
miss?
dude.
Short Circuit, man.
Oh, shit.
Come on, get with it.
You're right. Sorry. That's a death. And actually, Harris was in that too.
Yep. And then there was like the 3 Men and a Baby, and then the 3 Men and a Little Lady. Like they were all sequel happy back in those days too. So
Totally.
but Short Circuit's definitely a standalone
No doubt.
hit.
And he did not appear in Short Circuit 2.
Johnny Five.
Number Johnny 5.
I mean, 3 Men and a Baby, speaking of stashes, he was up with old Selleck himself in that one. So
That's true.
directed by Leonard
was.
fucking Nimoy. Thank you very much.
Wow.
What?
I did not know that.
Now
I
you
didn't either,
do.
man. You're telling me that 3 Men and a Baby, the first one, was directed by Nimoy?
By old Lenny Neems himself.
Wow. Well, we already know that he's great at directing comedy because the Whale movie was so damn fun.
So good.
The hell it was.
While we're on the Leonard Nimoy tip here, though,
Nice one, Benny.
what do you say?
The hell it was.
I said the Whale movie
The
was
hell
so
it
damn
was.
funny, and he goes, the hell it was.
While we're on the Leonard Nimoy tip here, I want to drop a Kim Cattrall nugget.
Ooh,
Where-
she was in Star Trek.
Yep. After appearing in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, she had a secret photo shoot on the bridge of the Enterprise wearing only her Vulcan ears.
What?
And when Leonard Nimoy found out about it, he had the film destroyed.
What?
Isn't that fucking hilarious and crazy and the
That
most
is
80s thing ever?
That's a
lore.
shame.
It is kind of a shame, but it's also kind of awesome. It's the most Leonard Nimoy thing ever.
She was in The Undiscovered Country, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's a good movie. Wow, that's a bummer. I would like to have seen that.
But it's kind of, I don't know. I kind of like how protective Nimoy is of Trek, you know?
Yes.
It's kind of cool.
Yes. And it's also like a great movie legend.
Yeah.
Good one. Nice. That's a nice nugget, man. Completely unrelated to this show, except for the Kim Cattrall connection. But yeah, whatever.
Let's use it as a segue into Kim Cattrall. She was in this.
Hey, she did a lot of like raunchy comedies when she was starting out. Like she did Porky's.
And
Which
this
is a
was pre-Gracie
terrible-
Law, too. This was a couple years before it, so.
When was Big Trouble? 88?
I think it was 87, but I can't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It was pre-Gracie Law.
86.
Okay.
Do you know how
the
fast you're
year-
going? 83.
84.
I think, yeah, it was pre-Gracie Law. So she did like Porky's and possibly a Porky's sequel. And then she did this. This isn't a raunchy comedy, but it's, kind of a goofball comedy for sure.
It's a little raunchy.
Yeah, a little raunchy, but nothing crazy.
It's some ranch. She's great, man. I still feel like her Gracie Law is peak Kim Cattrall for me.
Peak?
Yeah. Oh, Mannequin
Dude,
was pretty
Mannequin-
there. It was
Mannequin was awesome, man. Mannequin was a super cool story, and it was totally unique. I've never really seen anything like it.
You need to watch that again.
I know. I did too, man. And James Spader was in it, and like all these great acters. It was funny too.
You can
Andrew
still make the
McCarthy.
peak argument though, because they came out within a year of each other. So that definitely was like the big home run, couple home runs. I was never really into the whole
totally.
Sex and the City thing. I mean, obviously she's most well known for that probably at this stage.
No doubt. No doubt. I watched the entirety of Sex and the City
Yeah,
and the first movie. Yeah, it was a good show, man. It was a really good show.
I never had the time. Never made the time. Maybe is a better way to say it.
I get it, and I get why maybe a lot of guys wouldn't watch it, but it was fantastic,
Yeah.
But yeah, Sex and the City, I ended up watching those on DVD later, and those are the two big like things that kind of really made HBO known for their original programming. Was
Yeah,
those
no
two
doubt.
shows.
I was
She was great in Sex and the City.
I was
Yeah,
pretty
go ahead.
blown away watching Police Academy 4, where the love interest in that one is fucking Sharon Stone. Like, there's some pretty wild castings in these movies.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Oh man.
Whoa.
Whoa. Joey.
There you go. A little 80s goodness for you right there. Sharon Stone.
I would have never put Sharon Stone in a Police Academy movie, but there you go.
Which one was she in?
4.
4.
Citizens on patrol.
Wow. Citizens on patrol. Oh, City Under Siege. I forgot about that one.
I don't know if I've seen
What?
all 7 of these goddamn things.
I forgot about that. I remember Miami Beach had Janet Jones. We talked about that in another episode.
There's not much of a plot to this week's episode, but there was also not much of a plot to this fucking movie. I like the climax was just like a single RoboCop style shootout on the rooftop where, like, you know, RoboCop just would have shot the dude's dick and the movie would have been over.
Sorry.
You looking up Seinfeld
totally
or something?
not paying attention. No, I'm looking up Police Academy. I'm so blown away by the Sharon Stone thing. My 20th ejection death in this show.
Anybody feeling me on the limited climactic plot?
Of this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's like, I don't know.
It's kind of in scale with the movie, though. Like, I'm glad they didn't save the fucking metaverse from some time-traveling god, you know?
Okay, fair enough, but...
I'm glad fucking Thanos didn't pop in or something.
Right. That would have been funny. But, yeah, it was just like, I don't know. It was like the whole thing was started by a fackler in the apple. I mean, that was the beauty of it. Like, so it was kind of like, you know, comedy butterfly effect. Like, he chucks the apple out the window, hits the guy in the head. He turns around, sees the other guy eating an apple. Boom, riot.
Pretty funny.
And then, yeah, and then it really just ends on the top of the building, man, right? With the guy with the gun to the head.
Yeah, the
So am
guy
I remembering
at
this
the top
right?
of the building is just his stupid fucking white man.
That's right. And then we get Hooks finally does the one time in the movie where she screams, you know, with confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, she finally finds her voice.
Don't move, dirtbag!
Yeah, you finally get your dirtbag.
Well, there's many dirtbags. Harris uses them liberally.
Excuse me.
I did love, like, the way Harris would just, he was so awful to her, you know? He was always like, what, Hooks? Let's talk about how horribly racist this movie is.
Holy shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? Shocking.
I mean, that's pretty much
Just
it. That's all you got to say about it. This is really fucking racist. Multiple times.
Racist to black people, racist to gay people. Like, my God, man. I got to say that the end of the Blue Oyster Bar bit, I totally forgot this, when Ratface Copeland is, like, wearing the dude's hat and, like, sleeping on his shoulder. It was so funny, man. That made me laugh.
Dancing. Lots of dancing.
Lots of dancing.
Yeah, that was funny, man. Really good.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the Blue Oyster thing was so bad. It was really more the Lassard at the end being like, hey, you men, stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the, like, the, you know, just
The car scene with Hooks is just awful. Like, there's
man.
nothing funny about that. Like, just not at all.
Nah. Way
It's like even
out of date and shitty.
Even in the beginning when they're standing in line before they get their uniforms and Copeland says, like, oh, man, there's a lot of spades around here. Like, I was like, holy shit. I was like, I can't believe he just said that, man. Like, I can't believe they put that in the movie, man.
Yeah.
Like, that is terrible.
It's pretty fucking nuts.
Oh, my God, man. I don't know. It's just, I think it's whatever. The world we live in now is so different, and it's just so shocking to see that shit when you go back. It's also great to not see any of it when you go back and watch an 80s movie, you know?
What do you mean? Not see any of it?
Well, like when you watch a movie like Real Genius, for instance.
Oh, right,
you
right,
know,
right.
It's like, there was like nothing like that in there, you know?
Yeah. There weren't any cheap shots. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Dude,
Yeah,
you're on
no
a
cheap
podcast.
shots. Sorry.
You know, like if I could turn your internet off and keep you on a Skype call, I think I would.
Fair enough. So yeah, the racism was appalling.
Dude, you're just gonna fucking drill that joke into the ground, huh?
Oh, I love it because it's so bad, man.
So bad and so edge case.
Get it? Because his name is Pauley. It's appalling.
Get it?
Get it?
It's so great. Anyway.
What else? Anything?
Bits and bobs.
We can do bits and bobs and nuggets. I mean, we don't really have anywhere to go here.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else.
Bits and bobs. Let's see. I just love Leslie Barber, man. He's great.
Yeah, he did a good job. Completely forgot about
He
him.
did a really good job. I love the photo booth that
Yeah.
he works in, you know? Like it's just practically completely portable, you know? I mean, it was totally unrealistic when you see those guys lifting it up. You're like, yeah, but it was still funny. And the dog and just all that stuff.
No doubt.
I miss seeing photomats in like mall parking lots.
Oh,
and shit.
totally.
I know, man.
It's such a
The
weird
drive-through 1 hour photo things. Those were great, man.
A different era. And he gets his comeuppance at the end when the guys are like moving their own furniture. I like that.
Oh, that was perfect, man. I forgot that it was the same guys, but moving their own furniture. And it just made the whole thing land so beautifully, man, because he just completely kicks the shit out of all of them.
And I like how it's like, you're like, yeah. And then you realize it's just like horrible police brutality of dudes that weren't breaking the law. It's just kind
Exactly.
of extra funny.
I really enjoyed the wife chasing Fackler in the beginning. Like that whole gymnastic routine
Oh,
she
totally.
does is like, I didn't think the hood of the car thing, like, I don't know, I was like, whatever. That's been done before. Seen it a million times, but like the whole gymnastic thing over the fences and through the pool was pretty great.
I don't know. I'll push back on the hood of the car thing a little bit because like the hood of the car thing's been done a million times, but I think what I liked the most about it was that then he drove like 40 minutes with her on the hood. I like that.
Yes.
All the way there. Yeah.
Yeah.
even passing rich girl Kim Cattrall in her limousine.
Yeah. The idea of the lady on the hood of the car for half an hour is pretty funny. It'd eventually just be like, dude, can you just like stop? I'll get in. You know, like, and he's just like, nope.
Yeah, that was funny. What else you guys got? Bits and bobs.
I like the shower scene. I like how Gutenberg is like such a slick prick.
Totally.
And then he's just like sitting there drinking a beer, watching the ladies shower like a complete perv, but they don't notice. And then as soon as Harris does, they all scream. I think that was pretty funny.
That was good. Yeah, I like that one too. I don't know why, I really like the bit with the shoe polish around the megaphone.
Yeah, no doubt. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And how he, you know, like, it seems to me like they chose a megaphone that was like smaller and like he just had his like he did it right, like he had his mouth all the way on it, so it was just almost completely unintelligible
totally
what he was
blown out.
saying.
You could only hear them move it, move it, move it.
Exactly, it was great.
And dirtbag.
Speaking of catchphrases, it's a good one.
What, move it, move it, move it?
Yeah.
No doubt.
You about to say something, buddy?
What else?
No, I said and dirtbag.
And dirtbag, yep.
Yeah, and dirtbag. Yep.
Dirtbag was intelligible through the comically tiny megaphone.
Comically tiny megaphone. Yes.
I liked Barbara on the shotgun range.
Yes.
I especially liked how he blasted the first shell and then swung the gun around and everyone ducked except for Tackleberry, who knew that he hadn't put a fresh shell in the gun. That was quite funny.
Yeah, there was or when he hit Tackleberry too. That was good too.
Oh yeah, give me your best shot. Just totally like
pretty good.
Front slaps him.
Yeah, good times. What else we got? Bits and bobs.
We said it before, but I like how much play they gave Michael Winslow. I like that he was Mahoney's buddy.
Yeah, I like that too. Dr. Monsignor Larvell Jones.
Lourdusamy. That's who I picture Lourdusamy now.
Is what?
Monsignor Dr. Winslow.
Wow. Interesting.
I like the whole little Mahoney teaching Hightower to drive thing. That was cute.
Yeah.
Especially that era of Civic hatchback and ripping the front seats out.
And it turned out to be Ratface's car.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it seemed totally plausible too. You know, that car was somewhat cavernous on the inside, yet so small. And it's like you could totally see ripping the front seats out and it actually working.
No doubt. Dude, Bubba Smith was fucking gigantic.
Yes, he was.
He did a great job.
This is true.
I totally forgot about Hightower, and I liked him. He played it well, man.
He sure did, man. He was a staple of these movies. I love how he even goes back to the flower shop at the end.
Yeah. It's this giant fucking meat hooks just like trimming leaves off of like a lily or something. Super funny.
The song they play in the Blue Oyster bars burned into my skull.
Oh God, totally. I think for a lot of people. Do we know the name of that song or what that is or who performed that?
Yes, it's called El Bimbo.
El Bimbo.
Who sings it or plays it?
Multiple people.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the version is in the movie.
That's a nice bit of lore.
Speaking of songs, man, the theme song is probably the best part of this movie.
I think we started there before we even started the show. I was saying that, yeah.
Great place to bring it on home.
It's iconic, man. It gets in your head.
Completely forgot about it until it fired up.
Yeah, and not in a like crazy annoying way. Like I can think of other movies where the theme song just started to drill a hole through my brain, but this one, I don't know.
Just remember being a kid and like starting that movie and hearing that theme song start and seeing like the Lad Company tree thing and just being like totally psyched to watch the movie.
Yes.
It's going to be a bunch of boobs and a bunch of fart jokes. I am in.
There you go. A bunch of boobs. Good times. What else do we got? Are we ready for nugs?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Proceed.
Proceed, Baba.
Proceed, sir. You got any nugs, Kev?
I do. Just a couple little ones, but they're good. All right, my first one. We'll do round robin. My first one is that, and Chad, you better know this one, man, or you're gonna die. Is Fackler played the rabbi on Seinfeld. He made a number of appearances as the rabbi. He was Elaine's neighbor, and like people were always confiding in him, you know, because he was a rabbi, and then he would tell all of their business all over town and on TV. It was great. He was really, really funny too. He came up with this like really goofy way of talking that was great.
And who was Fackler in the movie?
He's the klutzy guy who starts the riot with the apple, and you know he turns around, and he hits his wife with the suitcase and the driving on the hood of the car.
Yep,
He was kind of underused.
he kind of was. Yeah, I've got a Guten Nugget. Sounds very German.
Guten.
He turned down the role. He turned down. I'm gonna change the nugget a little bit to add a bit of mystery. He turned down a role to play this particular role of Mahoney. Any guesses as to which role he turned down?
Oh man, Kurt Russell's role from Escape from New York.
That's not a bad guess. Care to guess, Benny?
That's a bit of a stretch, but not a bad guess.
No idea.
He turned down Venkman in Ghostbusters for this.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
They asked him to do that before Bill Murray?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Because you watch that movie and you cannot imagine anybody.
Dude, Bill Murray is Venkman. I mean, like, come on.
It's exactly right. Exactly right.
That kind of blew my mind.
Wow.
That kind of blew me away.
That blows my mind. That's absolutely crazy. And even more crazy that he turned it down, and even more crazy that they asked him before Bill Murray. Like, that's just nuts. Absolutely nuts. By the way, Bruce Mahler was the guy that played Fackler.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Aha!
Aha!
$1 million American dollars.
Okay, I knew this, but I guess I don't know if everybody noticed this. I thought it was pretty obvious, but Michael Winslow, in addition to Jones, was also the voice of all of the announcements at the police academy. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but
I think I did. I'm going to say I didn't, just because why not?
It's fine.
Nay, I didn't notice.
Nay, movie.
Nay.
What else you got, Chad?
That's it, man. I dropped my
Oh, man.
Vulcan striptease nugget earlier.
I guess El Bimbo was kind of a nugget.
Yeah, El Bimbo is a nugget, bro.
Yes, El Bimbo was a nugget for sure. I think, or rather, interesting one was the angry driver that he takes the car from when he practices his driving at 2:30 a.m. That was the director.
Oh, yeah.
And then my final nugget, which I'm most stoked about, which I could not believe, and it's directly related to an episode that we just did, was that Leslie Barber was the guy that played the deputy in Back to the Future 3.
I saw that. I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
And that just blew me away.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, bro.
Totally. He went from total, wimpy mama's boy to, badass Old West deputy. I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Never picked that up visually, so I was most stoked about that.
Totally. I'll sprinkle in one last Michael Winslow nugget that I came across a little while back, which was he is the voice of the Mogwai in Gremlins.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
Is he really?
it really is.
That is awesome.
Huh. Wow.
How'd we do on deaths this week, Kev? You died a shitload. Did any of us die?
I did. You didn't die.
No?
No, this is one of those weird weeks where it was like I had 20, Ben had 1, and you had none.
I had
So
2.
Did you?
So what was the second one, Benny? I have Stonecutters.
Stonecutters and Hamburger Hill / Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, yeah.
I got them confused.
I'll take one on that Seinfeld one.
I'm gonna title that one Hamburger Metal Jacket.
There you go.
It's a good name for a band.
Yeah.
It's a really good band name. And what was yours, Chad? Sorry.
I don't think I got either of your Seinfeld references, so I'll take a cumulative one Seinfeld death.
Death you shall have. Anybody? Vaco? No?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I didn't hear you either.
I said a death you shall have.
Oh, there you go.
A piece you shall have.
So good. Okay, so total death tally. I ejected on Winslow, and then I ejected on Winslow again, which has got to be something. Ejecting on the same thing twice in one episode is pretty pathetic. I am DP. Died on that gloriously. My terrible dirtbag and expletives from the 80s. Where I couldn't.
Your
I
well
bring
thought
it up
out
and then I couldn't
segment that
remember
you
anything.
proposed.
It was really great. Yeah, great segment. Then Benny died on Stonecutters from The Simpsons. I forgot Steve Gutenberg was in Short Circuit. Egregious. I ejected on Sharon Stone.
Happens.
I yet again beat to death the appalling racism joke. And then we have the Benny's Hamburger Metal Jacket death and your Seinfeld death.
Rock and roll.
And there you have it, folks. Ratings. I am going to go ahead and give this movie a 7.5.
Right on.
I believe that this is still a great movie. I could have even gone higher and felt comfortable with it. It's still a great movie. The actors do a really good job of delivering great straight performances and letting the comedy fall where it does. And I think that's sort of the killer combo of this movie. And it's the only thing that really takes away from it is what we spent a lot of time talking about. It's just I've seen it too many times, like I've memorized all the jokes. Like if you could somehow milk all of the humor essence out of a joke, I think this is a movie that I've done it on because I've watched it just that many times. But that being said, like it's still great, and it's still in the pantheon of great 80s comedies, as racist as it may be. So 7.5.
I think I might go next, Benny, because I think you should be the tiebreaker here. I kind of disagree across the board where I don't think it holds up. I didn't hate it, but I definitely feel like it's in meh territory for sure. I was disappointed that it didn't hold up because I have such fond memories of it. But when I looked at it in the algorithm, I was like, mid 3s or something. And then I was looking at the 3s and I was like, nope, these are all better. So like from shows that we've done, like there's no doubt in my mind that Raw Deal, Mexican, Jingle All the Way, Ice Pirates, they're all better, And that really makes it tumble down the list. And I enjoyed Idiocracy more, even though it's a silly, stupid movie. And this one ends up at a 2.6.
Wow. Okay. You don't think that's a little low, man, based on the whole nostalgia overwatching kind of
I like to be... The fact that I went back and watched Police Academy 4 and was like, that's the one I've always really liked. And I watched it today and was like, yeah, it's kind of the same shit. There wasn't a whole lot of nostalgia. Like, I had nostalgia for Lessard. I had nostalgia for the theme song. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember liking this when I was 10. It reminds me of a time, though, where like, when Ace Ventura Pet Detective came out, I was like a young kid, like a tween or a teen. And I remember thinking it was the funniest movie in the history of cinema. Like, it was the greatest achievement in fucking movies. And I showed it to my parents. And I remember my dad being like, that was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life, And I just couldn't understand how he didn't understand how funny it was. And I'm starting to feel like I'm getting to that age where I'm just like, this is dumb, It's like 10-year-old me loved this, but 40-year-old me is not so much, The nostalgia didn't make up for it, in short, whereas it did for a lot of other movies that we've watched recently. What's the verdict, Benny? What do you reckon?
Yeah, for tween me's sake and for nostalgia's sake, I'm going with a 6.5 on this one.
Nice.
It lost a lot of shine for me, and I quite honestly really wish I had left it in the past with that shiny glow still on it. If you haven't watched this movie in a while, don't don't do what I did. Don't disappoint yourself.
I like that you gave it a 6.5, though. I think that's reasonable. We've said it a million times before. The algorithm is a pretty harsh mistress.
Yeah,
She is. Now I'm feeling like my rating was too generous.
Nah, I think it's reasonable. You tend to be very enthusiastic, which I like.
Yeah, right on. I don't know. I don't know, but I totally see what you guys are saying, you know, especially Ben. Like I'm also I'm going to leave my score the same, but I'm going to echo his comment. Like don't watch this. Just remember it for all of its gloriousness. And that's it.
amen.
Amen, brother. One of my favorite parts of the show. What is happening next week, Algo Squirrel?
Next week, I can't believe you haven't seen this, but next week we're doing Last Boy Scout, which is a semi-rare Bruno movie.
And it's definitely an anomaly that I haven't seen it.
I don't think I've seen it either.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a good example of a Bruno movie, man.
I don't know. I might be wrong, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I hope you enjoy watching this,
I'm excited.
because I like it. It's a good Bruno.
Well, listen, folks, thanks so much for joining us for this trip down memory lane. I don't know if it was a great trip or not, but it was a trip. And tune in next week for The Last Boy Scout, starring Damon Wayans, and Bruce Willis, also known as Bruno. And as always, thanks for joining us. So long.
See ya.
Bye.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find the show notes for this episode in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/110. If you'd like to support the show, there's a number of great ways you can do it. You can rate us and review us on iTunes or your platform of choice. And writing those reviews really helps us out because it gets other people psyched about the show. You can also tell a friend to check out the show. Word of mouth is incredibly powerful and incredibly important. You can also now support us on Patreon. Help us keep the lights on. Go to patreon.com/EBD podcast and you can become a contributor to this show. And as always, follow us on social media. We have good conversations going on Instagram about this show and these episodes. So please join in on the hilarity on Instagram and all social media platforms where we use the handle @EBD Podcast. Thanks for joining us for Police Academy this week, folks. Stay tuned next week for The Last Boy Scout. And as always, so long for now.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy, three for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady.
Hey, Capshaw!
Chocolate rain.